Hello, good morning to everyone. Apa khabar? FPL Jedi Show deadline stream is back with Gaming 16, the final game before the World Cup break. My name is Hafiz and I would like to welcome my friend Azmin to the stream. How are you?
Morning. A lot of things to think about. But sadly, it's the last week before the World Cup, and after that, we take quite a break and enjoy the World Cup.
Yeah, if I can see, we might have like 5 to 6 weeks before the Gaming 17 resume back somewhere Boxing Day, is it? Maybe somewhere early January. So that's a big break, okay? But definitely we would like to end our Game Week 16 with a bang before the big break, so that we can have really good and comfortable break, not thinking about how awful we did in Game Week 16 and we want to move upper in terms of our rank. Okay. Okay, man. I think let's jump straight to what
Yes, let's
that
go.
we're going to have for Game Week 16 fixture. Most definitely, we are going to have early kickoff at 8:30 p.m. Who else but the Man City team versus Brentford? And I expect another hectic and scrambling day where we're going to find Man City team news before the deadline. And then we will have like five matches at 11 p.m. Malaysian time. Bournemouth versus Everton. Liverpool, who is high flying after winning against Spurs last week. They are actually entertaining Southampton with the new manager, Nathan Jones, coming into town. Nottingham Forest versus Crystal Palace. Forest are badly need result to move out from the bottom of the league. Spurs versus Leeds. Spurs was knocked out in the Carabao Cup in midweek. They want to end the fixture before the break with a win against Leeds, who are have now back-to-back win. And then we have West Ham versus Leicester, David Moyes and also Brendan Rodgers in the same fight for the win for this match. Then I think the biggest match for this week, Newcastle, the high flying Newcastle right now against Chelsea, who has been woeful. So that will be at 1:30 a.m. And then late view tonight, Wolves versus Arsenal. Wolves, who now has appointed the new manager. Okay, Lopetegui, he actually arrived at the camp, but he might not be in charge for this game. Okay, will face Arsenal side, the top of the league right now. And then on Sunday, we will have two matches: Brighton versus Villa. Villa, who has been winning against Manchester United last week, it is another high-flying team, Brighton. And then we close off game week 16 with Fulham against Manchester United. So definitely, man, we are interested to know team news for Man City, what's been Pep saying. So we jump straight to the first one, Man City versus Bradford. What's the latest team news?
Right. So all this smoke about with Pep again. So we'll see. We'll see. We have training this afternoon, so we'll see. And we did actually see it. There was this video going on of a, a, a training session sequence which had Haaland in there, and yeah, he seemed to be doing most of the same things that other teams, the rest of the squad were doing. Although there was an issue that a lot of controversy about the fact that some were wearing shorts, some were wearing leggings, some were wearing long pants. So how we did that has any indication whether there's a reason for all that. Yeah, but you know, that aside, it looks as though Haaland may be ready, but who knows? Yeah, that's for me. I'm not quite confident myself, but it's harder. It's going to be a huge decision for me because I don't have Haaland at the moment in my team. So whether I bring him back for this week, yeah, it's going to be a big question for me. But Haaland and Foden and KDB were all benched. They were all on the bench in midweek. Um, and they weren't brought. I think none of them were brought on. Yeah, so it should be good to go. That we should expect to see Foden to finally start
We
after a
really
while.
hope
So
so.
those, yeah, so that's the plan, and hopefully he does. Brentford, no other issues. Of course, Tony comes back after his suspension, so you would expect, of course, he'll be back to spearhead the attack. And I do think, I don't know, I do think that Manchester City can concede this one.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, but it's City, it's City all the way to win.
All right. Fair enough. Pep has been vague in terms of availability of Haaland. So definitely we would like to know some team news or team leak before the deadline. But if it's not meant to be, I feel Haaland and Foden has a really good chance to start this game, man. So if let's say uh, managers have Haaland and Foden in their side, I think you just play them, okay? But who the likes like you, we are in different scenario, man. You do not have Haaland, so you've been thinking whether you need to uh, bring in Haaland up before the deadline, or you really want to wait until the confirmed news, and then you have to really alert lah on how you're going to approach it. So that's the different dilemma. But I feel Haaland and Foden should be able to start this game. So I think another point, Cancelo, he's going to play this game. He's not suspended, even though he's been red carded last game. Okay, so he has served in Carabao Cup match. So others than that, you have KDB, Haaland, Foden. It should be okay. Okay, would like to say good morning to Brian. Thank you for joining our stream. Okay, so if you have any question, you can let us know. We try to answer
Good
it.
morning, Brian.
Let's go to the next match, man. Bournemouth versus Everton. Everton, who surprisingly lost 2-0 at home last week. But both team actually, Bournemouth also lost. So they really need this point. So what's the latest news?
Right, so Bournemouth, the biggest news seems to be the case that I think even I think quite a few have forgotten that they don't actually have a permanent manager. That's the biggest news. So the biggest news is that they apparently during the week they've decided not to give Gary O'Neill the permanent job. It was just the interim, and they're looking elsewhere. So we may see a new manager, but otherwise it's same old. And yeah, uh, Bournemouth are still looking dodgy. But in terms of fitness, yeah, I mean, you would expect the key people like Solanke, Lerma, Tavinia, Travers, all them, and more to start as well. On Everton, of course, we've got Mr. DCL, Mr. Injury DCL, and yeah, so there, as I suspected when we first came back, let's play wait and see, because let's just see how it is after the World Cup. And look, he's injured again. So to those, hopefully not none of our viewers have had brought him in before in the last few weeks,
I think
because
I
he
think
really,
that's the story so far for this year, right? I mean,
yeah, that's just DCL, and we're so used to it. Okay, but in terms of injuries, yeah, pretty much it's just DCL and Townsend are the ones out. So no serious. So obviously they'll want to bounce back. You would expect the Everton solidity to return a bit, but
okay.
uh, but I did mention earlier that Everton have only picked up 4 points from the last 6 games, which they're looking bad again, and they're heading down to the relegation zone again. So it's looking a bit dicey for Lampard.
Yep, yep. So people are calling hate for Lampard right now after Steven Gerrard ni. But we'll see how this game will pan out. You can see the predicted lineup. McNeil going to feature, but it could easily be Anthony Gordon, right? I think he could likely be back in the team. Hmm.
Yeah, it could. Dwight McNeil is another former Burnley guy. Gordon is better, but I don't know. Yeah, what Lampard's play is here. It's hard to
Okay.
figure that out.
All right, there's a lot of interest of Solanke. Later, we'll see the traffic of transfer this week. We go to the next one, which is your team in Liverpool versus Southampton. What has been Jurgen Klopp and the new manager Nathan Jones been saying about their teams?
Okay, so yeah, the best news, although he won't be ready, is Luis Diaz is back running, so he's not going to make this weekend either, but he should, but it's good news for Liverpool. Milner, is back. He had that concussion, so he had to observe it, so he wasn't able to play midweek as well. But he's back and he's fine. And for me as a Liverpool fan, I'm very happy that Matip is back as well because we were looking really problematic in terms of our injuries. Yeah, and of course having Thiago is always good. But yeah, so it's just a case of finding form. And okay, because in the past few weeks our problem does seem we're still in that Robin Hood position of robbing from the rich and giving to the poor. So last week we again robbed from the rich, which is Spurs, so we cannot afford to um, give to the poor anymore. So in which is Southampton, and Southampton they have a new manager. So unlike Wolves and unlike Wolves and Bournemouth, who taken ages to get the new manager, Southampton wasted no time and really fast. So he brought in Nathan Jones. Nathan Jones is a manager from Luton, who was doing well at Luton. So of course, a lot of questions will be whether or not, yeah, he's not, his first shot at the Premier League, can he do it? But yeah, I mean, you have to start somewhere. So
Yep.
so all the best to him, but just not for this weekend. Okay, so in terms of injuries, yeah, no real differences. Just Kyle Walker-Peters and Livramento. You would think that this match is all about Southampton doing some damage control or trying to reduce as much as possible. But you would expect, and there's a lot of interest this week about bringing in Nunez. Obviously a lot of people have Salah, especially with the likes of Mitrovic being dropped. So however you guys do that, yeah, it does look like there'll be goals for this one.
Yep, I expect that also. Big haul from Liverpool players. We shall see tonight. Yep. So let's go to the next one, man. Forest versus Palace. Palace had been winning last week away for quite some time against West Ham, but Forest grabbed a really good last minute goal, which they need. So what's the latest for both teams?
Right. So for Forest, yeah, it's a frustrating weekend. Was followed by a moral boosting win in
Yep.
midweek against Spurs, where they won 2-0. And yeah, so they're gonna hope to carry on that feeling in this match. So those are just minor knocks. You expect Steve McKenna to may be ready, but I don't know if they'll. Other than that, they should all be fine. So it's just minor knocks, and I think that they would like to keep the squad, yeah, because they did well even though they drew 2-2. But I think he was happy with the squad and blamed it on the refs. So Crystal Palace, one thing. So no real significant injury issues. But do remember last weekend, um, Zaha had leading the line,
Yep.
and that led to a goal and assist. A rare away and assist. So you would expect the same thing to happen here. So those of you with Zaha will probably want to keep. And now that the
Yep.
away issues seems to have been that duck, the zero seems to have been broken. So let's see if Zaha can keep that up with, in the lead up to the World Cup.
Yep. We hope that Zaha can play centrally, and then can get some return for this week. But for us, is tough night at home, as we know. Let's go, man. Spurs versus Leeds. Spurs, surprisingly, fielded a strong side during the midweek for the Carabao Cup. So we are not sure how the team news for this week. So what's the latest news?
Well, with Richarlison, Kulusevski having, as mentioned in the tweet, another training session, so it looks like they could be good to go, which will be really good for Kane, because you see the problem with Kane is that he's playing every match, you know, every single thing he's starting. So which honestly, Spurs, you need to have backup for Spurs, for Kane. Yeah,
Yep.
you were even the EFL. You played. He played against Forest. Played for an hour, although he got subbed up. But the fact is, why isn't he being rested? Why is he
Mm, mm, mm.
constantly playing every single match? It just that it just smacks of poor planning by Spurs. You need to have a striker there. You don't may not. Of course, you can't get someone of the same level of Kane, but you need to find someone. So anyway, so enough ranting. So yeah, so no Sessegnon. Sessegnon had caused us Liverpool a lot of trouble, especially TAA, but he's not going to be available. Leeds, however, okay. Now on the Leeds side, you yeah, Jack Harrison is a doubt. So, but Harrison hasn't. To be fair, he hasn't been in good forms. So you have no chill. But then Somerville, who was a breakout his breakout performance last week. So of course he'll come back. But would we pick up Leeds right now against Spurs? Yeah, it's a bit tough. But then at the same time, Spurs are also, aside from Son, they're still missing Romero. He's so important to that line, to that back line, and he can let Loris work together much better. And without Romero, Loris looks a bit more nervous than normally.
Yep. For Leeds, mean.
Yeah, so for Leeds in terms of injury issues, yeah, it's just Bamford, Harrison, yeah, and Cleach as mentioned there.
Okay.
No other key issues. Hang on just a sec. There was something I was. Yeah, Dallas. Yeah, so Dallas is the other significant person who's out, but yeah, he hasn't exactly been informed anyway. So yeah,
All right. So Bamford out, but Rodrigo could lead the lineup again. Somerville could get some minutes. Greenwood and so on. So we shall see.
yeah, I think there's a bit of spotlight on Greenwood, as if he comes in and does something as well, then we could really look at him returning to as our bench fodder in game week 17.
Next game in West Ham versus Leicester. I know there's also some news in terms of Dave Moyes' team being not ruthless enough at home, and but Brendan Rodgers' team are half flying right now. So West Ham versus Leicester. What's the latest news?
Yep. So for West Ham, yeah, I mean the lineup that you see there, that's pretty much you'd expect that one to be the lineup. So then the question is whether they can, they are struggling a bit. They although they are at 15 at the table, but they need to really really buck up. There's a lot of, they need to find some form, and Bowen needs to come back again and try to be much better than he currently is. Other than that, yeah, as mentioned there, Cornet is the only one that's really out. So it's really a case of selection, team selection, because they did uh, lost last weekend to Palace, I think it was, yeah, to the
Yep.
Zaha's Palace. So other than that, yeah, no issues. But the problem, they are facing a rejuvenated Leicester side, and unfortunately, Leicester's lost James Justin, so it's most
Mhm.
likely the left back. Most likely, Luke Thomas will come in immediately as a one for like swap. And sadly, he says it looks likely he's gonna miss the rest of the season.
Mm.
Evans played midweek as well, so you would expect that Evans will return in place of Amate
Yep.
into the starting lineup. And of course, there's a now the issue is with regards to the whether or not Vardy starts. So this one has Vardy starting, but I think that Vardy did play in midweek, so I think that Rogers is going to stick with um, his team from the weekend, which will see Vardy on the bench and Daka starting
Okay.
instead.
All right.
Okay, fair enough.
That's the news for both team. Let's go to the next match, main. There's rumors that Wilson doubt for this game. So what latest news for both team?
There's also rumors that Graham Potter is is already being questioned. Okay, but so first the problem Will Wilson. If you remember last weekend during the week before, he went onto a podcast saying he was ill. Then suddenly he started, so we thought it was smokescreen. But then he got substituted at halftime, which turns out, and the reason was because ill. So I feel that's a bit risky to want to do that again. Fine, they won 4-1, but should they risk that again? I'm not sure, especially against Chelsea. So the latest news was that he did train, but it was away from the group. So with this, because just illness, because they don't want it infecting the rest of the group, no, it's probably not that. I think it really is he needs a bit more specialized training. So I don't think he's gonna start, despite the that
Man.
predicted lineup. So I think that Wood is going to be the one starting. I think the other than that is correct. I do think ASM will still be used from the bench as an impact sub, and honestly, that's probably his at the moment that's his best role because he has he's always a finishing or some decision making issue with him. But if you unleash him as a substitute, he can really wreak havoc with the defenses because he'll be rejuvenated. Having said that, they are going against Chelsea, so Chelsea, they're terrible. But apparently Jorginho will be back, so that will take rest to any penalty decisions. I mean, look, because this I think if I remember correctly, this is the only team where their penalty taker is a holding midfielder for this season, isn't it? Yeah. So if Jorginho's in,
Because
he'll
because
definitely.
Declan Rice is not taking penalty anymore.
No, yeah. So it's yeah. So which
I would love to see, if Potter can give Conor Gallagher a chance because he has been called up for the World Cup team. Why not give him a run and
I think he
chances?
will. I think he will, and I think Potter's going to do a bit of shuffling, and I don't think Aubameyang will start. I think Sterling and Havertz will be the ones up top, and
Okay.
probably Gallagher in place of maybe Kovacic. Yeah, but Kovacic admittedly is a good player, but then they can't afford to lose again, Chelsea, and
Yep.
that's why. But I don't. I think Newcastle are just too strong for them at the moment, and there's a bit of squad disruption. Of course, when you don't have Reece James in it, it's already a problem. As that list is getting longer, isn't it? So James Chilwell, Kepa, Kante, and Fofana are all out. Yeah, James and Chilwell, who were so key last season, playing at the left and right. Yeah, so that's not happening anymore. And Cucurella hasn't really stepped up, and Loftus Cheek, is nowhere at the level of James. So this is a win for Newcastle. Um, Bruno G stepping up in the midfield.
Okay. All right. Next match, Wolves versus Arsenal. Arsenal did lose during the Carabao Cup, but
Yeah.
that's how Arteta need to manage the small squad, the so-called. So what's latest news for both teams?
Yeah, so for Wolves, it's really about the manager, and they've appointed the new manager, Jose Lopetegui, but he's not going to be available this weekend. He'll only be after the World Cup. Okay, so we got Costa is still banned, of course. Semedo will come back this week, but we don't know he'll play. It's a question because he got a red card. There's a discipline issue, and Wolves are nowhere stable at the moment, so anything can change. So Neto's out. Jimenez is out as well.
All right. So that's Wolves versus Arsenal. We expect Arsenal going to feel a strong side
Yeah.
to continue their
So
run.
yeah, because Arsenal have no changes. Of course, Tomiyasu is still the doubt, and of course, ESR is sidelined. But looks they've not had many issues without him, so it's
I
good.
think I think Arsenal has been consistent in terms of their lineup. since game week 1 to 16. I think the most changes point is on the left side, Zinchenko, Tierney, or Tomiyasu. The rest are almost certain consistent. I mean, yeah.
That's right, and it's great, and it's great news to know. You know, a few seasons ago, Arsenal's players always getting injured, always having cross. So Arteta's definitely, whatever he's done is finally paying off. So all credit to him.
All right, let's go to the next match, man. Brighton versus Villa. Both team having really good form in terms of the new manager, Dizabi, and also Unai Emery coming to town. So, what the latest news?
Great news for Deserby, isn't it? Yeah. So
Yep. Yep.
um, pretty much just continue on Carlos are the people who are out, and of course that for Aston Villa. Uh, so the main thing is that Bailey is playing further forward and instead of Ings. So Ings is the one who's being benched, and you would expect that to stay the same as Emery continues to evolve the squad. So Digne, and Martinez, who remember he had a bit of an issue, but then he should be fine. There's some rumors about Argentina trying to get him out early for training, but that's not going to happen. Nice try. But Bailey is now re-emerging as a great option.
Yep.
With Emery's gonna, Emery is looking to get the boys, and provided that Bailey can stay clear of injuries, he could be a really really good pick. Now on the Brighton side, yeah. So Brighton, don't remember. Yeah, no real
Yep. I suppose the same team that they can feel, the strong team, side
Yeah.
up front and the rest. And Mitoma, right, has been getting
Yeah.
into the first 11 lineup. So great news.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing with Deserby is that he's made that decision that Welbeck's not really needed up front anymore. He's not the best, but it does make it good for uh FPL managers for Trossard, who looks like he's
Yep.
gonna continue to play that further forward role.
Last match, man, Fulham versus Manchester United. We know Mitrovic has been declared out. So what's the latest news for both teams?
Yeah, Mitrovic is definitely out, and it's and that means now then it becomes the issue of who starts instead. So you got in this predicted lineup, Vinicius is there, but of course, the biggest player is uh, now without absence of Mitrovic is Pereira, and we also know now that when Mitrovic isn't around, Pereira will take the penalties. Unless
Yep.
Vidikius, who tries to open his account, tries to wrestle the ball away. But I would think Pereira will continue to shoulder that responsibility. Yeah. So Manchester United. Case of Ronaldo being available, Ronaldo is available. Of course, the return of Anthony Martial will help, and it seems like Eric Ten Hag is is happy with Martial so far. Yeah.
Yep.
So now the only thing is the other side where Garnacho, who really stood up, but whether or not he will displace Sancho in the lineup, I'm not sure.
Because Sancho and Anthony like doubt, we are not sure whether they are available. So and Garnacho has coming in during Carabao Cup midweek and perform. So I feel he has chance to start here. Otherwise, if let's say Ronaldo is available, then maybe Ronaldo will start. But maybe Ronaldo can be rested and concentrate on the World Cup and give Martial the last chance before the World Cup break because he's not being selected into the France squad. Okay, so that's the feeling. I think for Fulham side, uh, there will be two players suspended for this week, man, which
Mm,
is Reed and also Tete. So there will be some changes at Fulham side.
yeah. So on the Manchester United side is Dalot. So
Yep.
just a quick quiz, yeah, just a name because with um Varane being out, it looks like Harry Maguire is going to start, and it gives him a bit of a warm up before the World Cup. But unfortunately, Fulham don't have Mitrovic to really exploit
Mm.
the fact that Maguire is playing. So it won't make much difference
All right.
in that respect.
Are we confident Maguire start? Oh, it could be Lindelof in centre back and then Wan Bissaka or who Malaysia on the right side. We are not sure, right? Mm.
Well, I don't think. Yeah, I think one Bisaka is definitely out. Yeah, there's some. Apparently, there was some issues.
Okay.
So behind the issues, but
Right.
I don't know. Yeah, yeah. But it's hard for us to pick.
Mm,
But
okay.
I'm still I still but Manchester United played quite a strong squad in midweek. So but Fernandez stood out again. So
Yeah. Mm.
you think Fernandez will return?
Okay, man. Let's touch a bit on top transfer for this week. Who has been managers interested to get in for the final week of Game Week 16? Almiron has again topped this top transfer uh, for Game Week 16. 399,000 managers has bring him in despite they are playing Chelsea. On paper, it's a tough match, but Almiron has been high flying. I think like four consecutive returns for the past weeks. So Almiron really deserve this slot. Then we have Haaland here. People are thinking Haaland might start this game, so they want to bring him back. 264,000 has done that. Salah is another one after brace last week. 232,000 managers bring him in. This one, Solanke. Uh, whoever thought he's actually in the top five transfer in Solanke, 229,000 managers. I feel maybe it's a light transfer because of Mitrovic. That's what they bring in Solanko and upgrade somewhere else. And Trossard is another one, like you mentioned. Trossard playing up front, so out of position, definitely very good for him. Okay, in terms of transfer, Mitrovic is the one that people are taking out. The most one, 466,000 managers. I think this is no surprise. Okay, and then Foden. Okay, I think had enough about the three consecutive benching. uh, they don't want to overthink of whether Foden will play this week or not. He is out. Dalo, like you mentioned, suspended this week, but there's a lot of manager having had Dalo also. 324,000 managers has bring him out. Then Cancelo because of the red card, but he's playing this week, so that's a point for Cancelo. And Wilson is another one, like you mentioned, he's out for this week. So what you can make up on this traffic man?
Well, I'm surprised that firstly why Cancelo is being transferred out. I mean, a lot of people seem there's the misguided impression that he, because of the red card last weekend, means he's suspended this weekend, but he served it during the midweek. So yeah, um, but yeah, I can't do anything about that. But the other surprise, of course, is Dalot. I didn't know people had Dalot. Didn't know he was a he was a big pick in the first place. But anyway, okay. So Almiron continues to gain pace. Surprisingly, I'm quite impressed. But he didn't get any bonus points for his goal last week. Uh, yeah, he got overtaken basically by the likes of Trippier again.
Yeah,
So but yeah, other than that, yeah, people come transferring back Haaland. These are probably people like me who didn't have him long term and can just bring him back in. And of course, Salah, after his brace, he was the only goal scorer in the win last weekend against Spurs, so 2 goals. So definitely you could expect that to bring in. So no, I don't. Yeah, it doesn't seem like there's any popular punts here. It's pretty much the tried and trusted players here. All with great records, especially Trossard, who you would expect to, after the World Cup, if he continues to thrive in, under the new manager.
yeah. You can we can see that Solenko is another one that we can see that a lot managers are bringing budget striker for this week for the likes of replacements like Mitrovic, I suppose, and also Wilson, man. Hmm. So that's the pattern right now, and I'm also thinking about him. Okay, I think, man, we go to our team. Let's go to my team first. Oh, sorry,
All
my
right.
team first. Okay. And then, as you can see, okay, I have two free transfer. Okay, what I'm gonna do in fielding this team that I already set up. Rita in goal or over what? I have Cancelo. I have Dyer playing at home and Trippier playing at home against Chelsea. So all playing at home. Okay, Salah. Okay, uh, playing with Southampton. Foden, I feel, okay, without knowing the team news, I feel Foden will start. I don't want to complicate things. Let he be. If he bench, he will definitely come in somewhere along the match. Zaha, most definitely after 12 points brace last week. So I think I have to get him now. Martinelli, Wolves, okay, away. Wilson are doubt. Mitrovic are out. And Haaland, hopefully, he'll play and I will captain him. So my two transfer, most likely, main. Okay. So definitely, I want to target the weakest link in my team. Mitrovic is the one, and Wilson, like you mentioned, I think he might not start, right? So I think these two are the one that I need to tackle. Other than that, maybe I want to change Dyer to somewhere else, upgrade to Perisic or maybe lower to Ben White. But I don't think I want to tackle that because that too is the main point that I need to handle for this week. What do you think, man?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. It's about Wilson and Mitrovic. So, I don't know what your plans are though in terms of your replacements.
Okay. So
Um,
the plan is Darwin and Solanke in. I just had enough money, but since I wait for so long, I'm priced out because Mitrovic dropped in price and Solanke up in his price 5.8. I'm out of 0.01. So definitely I
how,
cannot
how
move
much? How much is Solanke?
5.8. 5.8 and Darwin is 8.9. So I'm priced out point one lah. So basically, I cannot make that move. So now I need to decide whether Darwin is the one I want. If I really want Darwin, I just do that move and take somewhere else. Greenwood, Kiefer Moore, who else? I just play them or I play Andreas. If I feel Darwin is the most potential big haul for this week. If not, I could actually get Jesus who lower in price, 8 million, and then I can pick Solanke and I play both of them. So I think that's the optimal one. The other one, Panty one, Marshall. But I need to partner with someone who like 6.9 million below, which I'm not too sure. There's a lot of option there. So
Well, if you really want Darwin, then you could go. Yeah, I guess it's between Wood or Moore, isn't it? Um, Chris Wood,
yeah.
who's come back into the team uh, for a halftime performance, but I'm just looking at the stats because Kiefer Moore, obviously he blanked last weekend, but yeah, he doesn't have a good goal scoring record. He's only scored twice, and one was a brace against Spurs.
That's the
But
only one. Mm.
yeah, but then neither has Chris Wood, to be fair. So the question is whether the there'll be enough to have them as a pick. I'm looking at your team.
But anyway, I could actually easily pick anyone and just play Andreas because
Yes,
Fulham are playing at home and just will be on penalty without Mitrovic. And who knows, Fulham could get something against Manchester United. That's my feeling. So
yeah,
whether I think between Darwin and Jesus, who are going to perform better for this week?
yeah. Yeah, I guess the problem with yeah, is the only problem with Fulham is again that they're without Mitrovic, so it's a hard one. I'm
Another one. I throw you another one, which is I gamble Wilson will start. Okay, so I don't touch Wilson. I drop Mitrovic to Martial, then upgrade Dyer to Saliba or Perisic if I want. So I can I can tackle Dyer. But I just pray Wilson start, or if not, Andreas coming.
That's a very punty one because you got Wilson and Martial as well.
That's why. That's
Um,
why.
is Martial?
Martial
I mean,
expected
Ten
to
Hag
start.
seems to like
We are not
Martial.
sure, right? Mm-hmm.
But did he start last weekend? No, right? He only started midweek, I think.
Yeah, maybe. Yep. So we are not sure about minutes. Maybe he starts but don't play the whole minute. So that's another thing. Dyer is not bad, I feel, against Leeds. But yeah, if I could have other option, I could pick Perisic. But
Yeah,
Wilson
I mean,
is the headache one. We are not sure, right?
no. Yeah, I mean, just to argue the case for Martial, the fact is, Manchester United did lose last weekend. So midweek, Martial came up and who did they lose to? Villa. They lost to Villa. So
Ah,
Martial played in midweek and tried to show
yeah,
Ten Hag
he
what
did
he
score. He did
missed.
score.
Yeah, so Martial might come back after they basically they took revenge against Aston Villa. So but they played that strong lineup. So yeah, Martial, it's not a bad option. I'm just trying to think Martial and Wilson versus Darwin and Moore/Wood. Just trying to see what's the yeah that is the main thing, aside from your idea of change, but we don't know that's good enough, and I don't think
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah, Wilson is doubtful. Martial, we are not sure, right? We better pick someone
Yeah,
who sure, right? In this last game week. So
yeah.
since I'm priced out Darwin and Solanke, it could be, I think this the two option I'm gonna go. Jesus Solanke combo or Darwin with someone.
Darwin with Wood. I don't think Wilson will start. So Darwin with Wood.
Okay.
Darwin with
So
Wood, but field Andreas anyway.
okay.
No,
I
but
think
honestly, but seriously, Newcastle against Chelsea, it looks good. So yeah, Darwin Wood triple.
uh okay. Do you feel Darwin will be better in terms of points this week over Jesus?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
I mean, simply for the fact Liverpool are playing at
Playing
home.
at
That's
home.
all.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right. So if
and
they
Jesus,
say Arsenal
and
playing at home,
let's be fair. Jesus hasn't scored for quite a while now, but then neither has Darwin. But then Jesus has been starting every single
mm.
match. So yeah, not to
or
continue.
I can consider Firmino and play Solanke, so I can do that also. But people are thinking about Nunes right now, right? So I should do that.
Yeah, it's all about Nunez at the moment. But
We go to your team. Eh? We go to your team. I think I need to think how I'm going to approach my team. So your team is this. Can you walk through?
no, it's such a dilemma for me. Okay, so obviously the two main issues are one, I do not have Haaland, and two, I do not have Salah. So those are the two big guns. So how do I go about it? I if I go with Salah, it means I'll have to sell KDB, which means but that by selling KDB for Salah, I will not have any funds to go for uh, Haaland as well, unless I sell Kane to Haaland. Yeah, Kane to Haaland and KDB to Salah. But the thing is, both of those players are having good matchups anyway. So it's just a case of whether or not Kane is too tired. But I don't think he's not tired enough to not play this game. So he will still play, and and Kane has such a great record of scoring at home. So it's yeah. As much as I thought of selling Kane, uh, I don't think I'm gonna do it. So I'm just gonna hope that has enough recovery time and doesn't exert himself in training. Um, so so then the so then for me to so I will have to if I want to get Haaland, I have to go without Salah. So let's say I sell Mitrovic for Haaland, that will be nice. Then I'll sell KDB to 8 point something million midfielder. I got
Mhm.
2.3 units in the bank.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
so that is where I'm looking at now in terms of. I guess I could bring in Madison. Madison's in great good form. So Madison and who was it? Haaland for
Yep.
KDB and Mitrovic. Yeah.
Yep.
So
Yep.
um, so the other option which I would discuss and Hafiz came up with the idea is why not just keep those and go Mitrovic to Jesus, which would be an issue because I already have three Arsenal players, but so it would mean I would sell someone like Ramsdale. Uh,
Yep.
by going Mitrovic to Jesus and I sell Ramsdale, I have 6 units left. So which is pretty much you can use it for any keeper. But bearing in mind this is the dead end week, so it's fine. So what I need to do, I'm really tempted with that one. So the question is the fact that Jesus needs to break his goal scoring duck. Yeah, he hasn't scored for quite a while now. So that's the part I need to decide. But I like the idea, but I need to decide whether or not Jesus, because Jesus, for me to do that, I need Jesus to score because we will be without Haaland and Salah. So that's a big risk for me.
So
You can argue,
if you
arguably I have Kane and KDB who theoretically could also
yeah,
equally perform, but let's not forget Salah and Haaland are the bigger goal
okay.
scorers at the
Okay.
moment.
So if you go that road, I suppose you're gonna captain KDB. I think that's the safest captaincy that you should do this.
Yes. Yeah, you're
But
really right.
I won't deter you from doing KDB Mitrovic to Haaland and 8 million midfielder. It could be Madison, it could be Saka anyway. But you cannot get Saka, so yeah. So
So yeah. Okay. So just a quick one in terms of the top five point scorers in the game at the moment is Haaland, followed by Kane, which 30 points less, Trippier, KDB, and Almiron. So
mm,
I actually have four. Salah is on six, by the way. So I actually currently have four of the top five point scorers of the game already in my team.
yep.
So yeah, sure I don't have Salah, but maybe I can do without. I don't know.
So it's something that you can think of. I think it's okay. As long you don't take hits for this, I think I'm okay with it. So it's
Yeah,
just whether maybe you wait until the last minute and wait for the news just to confirm your if you want to
that's
go again.
that's
I'll,
another
I'll
issue, isn't it?
yeah,
Waiting for the last minute.
I'll be away this evening, so that I'm afraid that I do not have time and focus for getting this Man City news. That's another one. Okay.
All right,
All
so
right.
okay, sorry, go on.
All right. I think that's all, man. Anything else that you want to touch?
Okay, so basically now the question is regarding the deadline. So we've had the week before it was just a couple of minutes. It crashed for a short for like 5 minutes before, but last week it was like 30 minutes before the moment we heard news. Suddenly the whole thing started going down. So it really depends on the state of your team whether you want to risk it again. But do remember that when game week 17 comes around, um, before the game week 17 comes around, you'll have unlimited transfers. Yeah. So right now you have to decide what you want to do with your team, but set your team the way you want it to be, with the right captaincy and the right vice captain already on. Okay, so that at least when you do the transfers, you don't have to worry about moving around your captaincy and things. But of course, the question there is your captaincy going to be on Haaland? So the doubt if Haaland doesn't start, then you're rushing to move your captaincy. So that's why it's important if and make sure your vice is the right pick as well. The not just the random pay attention to your vice captaincy as well. And there's a theory. Okay, I there's no confirmation on this, but there's a theory out there because a lot of people seem to have been able to make transfers using the official app. I don't usually use the official app. I use a third party app. But apparently, if you were already logged on the official app, uh, when the servers went down, but you would still apparently they were still able to make their transfers and changes if you had already logged on before the servers went down. But those who only tried logging on after the system started crashing were not able to get in. So that's just a theory. So I'm putting it out there. So before 30 minutes, 1 hour before deadline, log into the website, log into your apps. So if you can't do any transfer, then you move to the app, move to the web as well. So just be ready for that. But if you do not have that luxury, if you're only logging in from one device, you don't have a lot, or you don't have a lot of time, then just do your transfers before the whole. Just go for it. Just assume you're not getting any team news and do transfers. That might be the safest way.
All right. I think good point from Azmin. You give a good tips. I would definitely want to, if possible, we try to complete our transfer before really the last hours of the deadline. But if you really want to know about Man City teams, then you need to go through this. Okay, so set your team correctly, and hopefully, we can get the right points, the right captaincy. So until then, I think, Min, this could be our last deadline stream before the break. So enjoy the break. Enjoy the
Enjoy the
break.
break and enjoy the World
And
Cup.
yes. And then just last point, remember our deadline will be at 6 p.m. today. Okay? Not late as last week. And after that, you can just simply close off your knee and concentrate. If you're doing World Cup fantasy, you can do that, or you have a break like myself. Okay, man.
Yay.
Thank you.
Take care,
Take care.
guys. All
Have a
the
good
best.
weekend.
Bye.
Bye.